live. Some of you might be watching this later, the recorded version, so thanks for being here and connecting in virtual time and space, even if it's right now or in the future. In Indian mythology and storytelling, we use stories to understand kind of what it means to be human and the things that go on in life. So there's a god in Indian mythology named Vishnu. Vishnu is known as the protector of truth and of peace and of love, and the preserver of truth and peace and love. So there's a story that goes, there's a king, this sort of evil king named Bali. And Bali is basically taking over the realms of the world. And the gods and goddesses don't really know what to do, and they need some help. Like, how do we preserve and restore order? How do we protect what's happening? And how do we protect peace and love and truth? So they call on Vishnu, and Vishnu says, all right, I'll figure it out. And he becomes a human form, and he goes down into earth, and he presents himself to this kind of an arrogant king, and he presents himself as a monk. And this king is a very devout yogi, and so he sees this monk. He says, "Oh, what can I do for you?" Vishnu knocks on the door. Basically, his name is Vamana. That's the name he takes. And he knocks on the door, and Bali says, "Please come in. What can I give you? I'd like to give you something. Basically, he supports the spiritual practices, even though he's a bad guy." And so Vamana says, "I don't want much. I really don't want much, but I would like 3 steps of land so I can do my practices, so I can sit and meditate, so I can do practices of yoga. I just need 3 steps of land." And Bali, the king, is kind of arrogant. He's like, "What? I can give you more than that. Wow, that's all you want? 3 steps? This is ridiculous. Let me give you more." "No, I just want 3 steps of land." So finally he says, "Okay, sure, I'll grant you those 3 steps of land." And Vamana, which is Vishnu, he says, "Thank you." And he begins to take his steps. And as soon as he reveals his true form, his great form, he's no longer this small being, but he reveals his greatest, most powerful, omnipotent, enormous being. And he starts to take his 3 steps. And he takes the first step, and he takes back all of earth. And he takes the second step, and he takes back all of the heavens. And his 3rd step, Bali kind of knows, uh-oh, I messed up. And he just sticks out his head. And the 3rd step is Vishnu completely preserving and protecting and restoring truth, peace, and love. And so I like this story because you think these steps are going to be small. That's why Bali is, stupid, and he's sort of overlooks the smallness of Vamana, of Vishnu. And he doesn't realize the bigness and the power that each step is going to have. And I feel like that's important right now. Every little thing we do matters. So the ways that we can protect and preserve our city, love, peace, everything we can do matters. Whether it's we talk to family about what's going on, whether it's we meditate and hold our city, the country, the injustices that are happening, we hold it in our heart. Whether we are activists and we go and protest, whether we are a writer and write what we're feeling and processing, everything we do matters. Every little step we take makes a difference. So we do the steps that feel right for us, that feel like this is from my heart, this is something that feels genuine and in integrity for me to do in this moment, whatever that might be. And may I restore peace. May I restore a sense of well-being and love in my community. And every little thing we do matters. And the same thing happens in the physical practice. Every little refinement, everything that we do, an intention we hold in our body and our breath, makes a difference in the physical pose. So keep that in mind as you practice, that every movement, every activation of a muscle, you're doing that in service of yourself and really what's going to be best for you, and it matters. It really, really matters. So even though it seems trivial, our presence here together, whether it's right now or whether if you listen to this recorded later, it matters, it means something. It's a way that we're connecting with each other, we're connecting with our hearts so that we can go into the greater community and do something to protect and preserve and restore. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. If you haven't done so already, you can close your eyes and turn your attention to your breathing. Watching your inhale rise and your exhale fall. Every moment we spend focusing and being mindful of our breathing matters. It draws us inward into connection with our heart. It draws us into connection with a peaceful, well-being feeling of love that resides within us. Even if we're heartbroken and we're scared, and we might feel hopeless at times, every breath, every mindful breath, draws us back inside to our hearts. Please bring your hands together in front of your heart, palms touching. We'll sing the sound Om one time together. You're welcome to listen or to sing along. Please exhale completely. May the fruits of our practice be for the upliftment of all beings. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And may all beings know true joy and love and the causes of true joy and love. Thank you so much. You can release your hands and open your eyes. Let's start in standing to begin. So move anything you need to off to the sides. Come to the front of your mat. Start with your feet about hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider. And we'll just start to move with our breath. So as you inhale, just give a little bend in your knees and reach your arms up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, make your legs straight, bring your arms back down by your sides. Inhale, a little bend in the knees, put the pressure in your heels as you sit into a little squat. As you stand up, bring your arms back down. So just warming up the ankle joints, the knee joints, the hip joints, the shoulders, linking your movement with your breath. So the mindfulness and the attention that we're spending on our physical movements, on our breathing, makes a difference. And you know it does, otherwise you wouldn't be here. It means something to you. It has a uplifting effect on you. Now bring your arms around you, give yourself a hug, and then open up, draw your shoulders back. Little bend in the knees, give yourself a hug. Stand up, open your arms up, squeeze your shoulder blades back. Little bend in your knees, sit back into your imaginary chair, open up. A couple more times. Belly stays strong as you stand up. And as you sit back, pull your belly towards your spine. Let's go one more in each direction. Give yourself a hug, round in, and then open up. Squeeze your shoulders back, and then release your arms by your sides. Again, feet hip distance apart. If you need to, step to the front of your mat if you're not there already. Inhale, reach your arms up, touch the sky. As you exhale, a little bend in your knees to fold forward, touch the floor. On an in-breath, bring your hands to your shins, look forward, stretch your chest forward. And then exhale, a little bit more bend in the knees if that feels good, to fold forward. So a few times like that. As you inhale, hands to your shins or on blocks, stretch your spine straight. Exhale, fold in. Keep your toes spreading. Keep your belly muscles engaged as you move back and forth in these two different positions. One more time in each direction. Lift up, stretch up. Exhale, fold in. Place your hands on the mat, step back into downward facing dog pose. Spread your fingers, make your hands as big and wide as you can. If it feels good to take a few steps back and forth, little small movements as you bend one knee and straighten the other knee. And then follow your breath as you inhale, come forward into a high plank position, top of a push-up. Squeeze your butt muscles, squeeze your belly muscles towards your spine. Exhale, press back in a downward facing dog. If it feels good to bend your knees, please do so. We'll do this a few rounds. As you inhale, forward, plank. As you exhale, press back, dog. When you come forward, make sure you squeeze your butt muscles, pull your belly towards your spine, shoulders stacked over wrists. As you press back into your down dog, lift your hips way back behind you, but keep your belly strong and engaged. Forward into plank, squeeze your arms and legs towards each other. Hands are totally flat into the floor. Press back into your dog, push the floor away, lift your hips way high to the sky. One more round, plank, down dog. Come forward into your plank pose. Either lower your knees to the floor or lower down straight legs. Reach your arms back behind you, palms face down to the floor. Before you go up, push your pubic bone into the floor and feel your belly muscles pull away from the floor. Squeeze your butt, lift your arms up, lift your legs up, locust pose. Look down at the floor but slightly forward. Draw your shoulder blades down your back. Squeeze your butt muscles to lift your legs up, but keep pushing your pubic bone into the floor so you don't feel any compression in your low back. Some of you might lift your legs an inch off the floor. Some of you might lift a foot. As long as it's pain-free in your low back. Feel the muscles in your upper back and the backs of your legs really working. Inhale to release. Press back in a downward facing dog, either through hands and knees or through a push-up. Come forward into plank pose again. Lift your right foot off the floor. You might stay right here, or you might draw your right knee in towards your nose, pushing down into your hands even more. Release that side. Second side, lift your left leg up. You might stay right here, or you might draw your left knee towards your nose, pull your heel towards your left butt. Release that left leg back. Lift your right leg up again. You can stay there, or pull that right knee towards your nose, pull your belly towards your spine, release that leg down, lift the left leg up. You might stay here, or draw your left knee towards your nose, pull your left heel to your butt, release that side. Lift your right foot up again. You can stay there, bring your right knee towards your right elbow, squeeze your right heel towards your butt. I know your core's firing. Kick back. Second side, lift your left leg up. Draw your left elbow towards your left, or left knee towards your left elbow. Release back. One more, lift the right leg up. You can stay there. Right knee towards right elbow. Release back. Left leg up. Left knee towards left elbow. Hang in there, breathe. Release that left side back, hands and knees, child's pose. Whew. Our core muscles are so important when we practice. They really protect and preserve our backs and our hips when we do these poses. So I'm sure you all felt your core muscles work. Now when we do our practice, you want to make sure you feel that same kind of engagement, that same kind of fire in your belly as you just did. Allow your breathing to settle. Allow your heart rate to drop. And just feel the sensations in your body. Reach your arms forward if they're not already in your child's pose. We're going to flow back and forth between child's pose and kind of like an up dog, but you want to stay pain-free in your low back. So just kind of listen and see what your body says. So from your child's pose, you're going to come through hands and knees. Keep your hands flat on the floor and then start to move your hips towards the floor. Your knees stay on the floor. Squeeze your butt muscles, draw your shoulders down away from your ears, and then press back into child's pose. We're going to go back and forth like this a few times. Keep your hands flat as you come forward. You might come a little bit forward and stay right here. As you squeeze your butt muscles and draw your shoulders down your back, you might push your hips more forward towards the front of the mat, as long as that feels okay in your low back. Press back, child's pose. Pain-free in your low back, please. Only push your hips forward as far as feels okay. Come forward again onto hands and knees. Start to move your hips towards your hands. Squeeze your butt muscles. Draw your shoulders back, feeling a stretch through the front of your belly, front of your hip. Press back, child's pose. One more. Come forward onto hands and knees. Move your hips towards your hands, drawing your shoulders away from your ears, squeeze your butt muscles. Your knees are on the floor. And then press back, child's pose. Come up to hands and knees. Step your right foot forward, wide to the right side of the mat, and your left knee is going to be down on the floor. Hands are to the inside of the front foot. You can stay here up on your hands, or you can come down onto your elbows. Maybe you come onto blocks for lizard pose. Please look at your right foot and spread your toes. Push your right heel down into the floor and pretend like you could pull your right heel back to the back edge of your mat. That'll make your right hamstring and butt muscle fire. Pretend like you could pull your left knee forward to the front edge of the mat. That'll make the front of the left hip fire. Feel both sides of the pelvis move to the floor and feel the sensation of stretch. If you feel any pinching or pain in the front of the right hip, please come up on your hands. Try to squeeze your left butt muscle, which is hard to do in this position. You'll find you can turn it on for a few seconds and then it turns off. If you're on your elbows, please come to your hands. Option 1, right hand to your hip. Reach your right arm up to the sky, twisting over the front leg. Option 2, bend your left knee for a twisted thigh stretch. Reach your arm with your right hand to grab the inner edge of the foot. Pull that left heel towards your butt and then open your chest to the right. As you open up, please pull your belly and your ribs back towards your spine so you don't overarch your low back. There's no arch in your back here. Just the shoulders draw back and the upper chest opens. You're welcome to stay here. Come onto your left elbow. Please stay in the center of your left thigh as you take the twist, whichever option you're choosing. Belly stays strong, just like you did a second ago in those planks. The whole time, core is strong as you open the shoulders and open the front of that left thigh. Inhale to slowly let go of the foot. And then you're going to switch sides. Step your left foot forward. Right knee's down on the floor. Hands are to the inside of the front foot. Staying here, coming down to elbows, either on blocks or on the floor. Some kind of elevated surface if you don't have blocks. Press your left heel down into the floor. Pretend like you could pull your left heel back to the back edge of the mat. Feel as if you could pull the right knee forward to the front edge of the mat and then squeeze your right butt cheek. Feel both sides of the pelvis move to the floor evenly. A lot of times we drop the right one more and then end up twisting our pelvis. Stay nice and centered. Feel the sensation of stretch in your left groin, your left hip, maybe the front of your right hip. Just notice where you feel it. If you're on your elbows, please come back up. Taking it into the twist. The right hand stays down, left hand to hip, twist open to the left. Or take twisted thigh stretch. Bend your right knee, reach around, left hand holds foot. Flare your right toes as you pull your right heel towards your right butt. Open your chest to the left, but keep your core strong. No arching your lower mid back. Staying here or coming onto the elbow. Stay heavy in your left heel and try to pull that left heel back. So staying active in the activation of the muscles of the left side as you open your chest up to the left. Steady breath. Deep inhales, long exhales. Inhale to slowly release. Press back into downward facing dog. Come forward into plank pose. Either come to your knees first or lower down straight legs. Bend your knees. Squeeze your heels to touch. Take your arms out to the side so you look like a goalpost. Before you go up, squeeze those heels together, push your pubic bone into the floor so your belly's engaged and your butt's engaged. Keep that. Now lift your arms off the floor. Draw your elbows down towards your knees. Some of you might lift your knees away from the floor as long as that feels okay in your back. Look down at the floor but slightly forward. Again, squeeze your heels. Really feel that butt activation. Push your pubic bone into the floor to feel your belly activation. Stay strong and protected even as you do the pose. Inhale to release. Press back into downward facing dog, however you'd like to get there. Spread your fingers. Make your hands really big and wide into the floor. Kick your right leg straight back behind you. Bend your right knee. Twist your hips open like you're stacking your right hip on top of your left. Squeeze your left heel in towards the midline of your mat as you push your hands down into the floor more and lift your right knee higher to the sky. Okay, follow directions. Step your right foot halfway up your mat and wide. Turn your right toes out to the right. Bring your right hand to your hip so you're in side plank in this little kickstand. You're on the outer edge of your left foot. Push down into your right foot. You can keep your right hand at your hip or reach your right arm up to the sky. Press your left hand down into the floor, super steady. Belly strong as you reach up. Release that right hand down, step back, downward facing dog. Reach your left leg back behind you. Bend your left knee, twist your hips open. As you stack your left hip on top of your right, lift your right armpit forward to the front of the mat. Press your right pelvis back to the back of the mat. Stay really long on the right side of your torso. Open that left knee up to the sky. Shift your weight forward to step your left foot midway up your mat. Turn your left toes out to the left. Spin to the outer edge of the right foot, side plank. Left hand to your hip, or reach your left arm up to the sky. Spread your right fingers, push into your right hand, so you're pushing away from the floor, not sinking towards it. Squeeze your right butt muscle, push that right outer edge of the foot into the floor. Release your left foot hand down, step back, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet, coming into a forward fold at the back edge of the mat. Feet hip distance apart at least. Spread your toes wide. Bend your knees as much as you need to release your low back. There's no pain in your back. Belly stays strong as you draw yourself into yourself. Please give a little bend in your knees. Bring your hands to your hips. Bring your torso parallel with the floor. Your elbows point straight up to the sky. Your knees are bent. Your back is straight. Your belly is strong. Inhale to come up with your heels pushing into the floor. Shoulders are back. Release your arms by your sides. Step your left foot behind your right foot. Give a little bend in your right knee. Bring your right hand to your hip, reach your left arm up, and then stretch up and over. So you're getting this big stretch along the left side of your body. Keeping that little bend in your right knee, you can push your left foot flat into the floor if it goes in that direction and feels okay. You're welcome to also take your right hand and hold your left wrist as you stretch up and over. Please keep your core strong, just like you did in your planks. Inhale, come up. Switch sides, your left foot's forward, step your right foot behind. Give a little bend in your left knee. Left hand to your hip, reach your right arm up, stretch up and over. Again, you can encourage your right heel to move down towards the floor if that feels okay in the calf. Belly, stay strong. Pull your belly and ribs in. It's really easy to arch your back here. So pull your ribs and belly in, strong core. You can add holding the right wrist with the left hand, stretch up and over. Inhale to come back up, release your arms. Step to the front of the mat and make sure nothing's behind you, because we're going to do some step backs. So place your feet hip distance apart. Bend your knees. Sit back like you're in chair pose. Your back is straight, your belly's strong. Please put the weight in your heels so that your knees don't drift forward. You can keep your hands at your thighs. You can reach straight forward. You can reach straight up. Pull that belly in, weight through the heels. Breathe. Shift the weight to your right foot. Slow motion, step your left foot back for crescent lunge. Squeeze your left butt, reach your arms up, touch the sky. Pull your belly in strong as you reach through your spine, through your fingertips, to the top of your head. Shift the weight to your right heel, step forward, chair pose again. No arch in your low back. Shift the weight to your left foot, step your right foot back, crescent lunge. Squeeze your right butt muscle, reach your arms up, touch the sky. Feel the stretch and the sensation through the front of your right hip. Step forward again, chair pose. Pull your belly in, back is straight. Shift your weight to your right foot, step your left foot back, crescent lunge. This time reach your right arm back, left arm forward, twisting over your front leg. Keep squeezing your left butt muscle. Use your belly muscles to twist to the right. Come back to center. Shift the weight to the right foot. Step forward, chair pose. Shift the weight to the left foot. Step back, crescent lunge. Squeeze your right butt. Reach your right arm forward, left arm back, twisting over the front leg. Use your belly muscles to turn you to the left. Inhale back to center. Step forward, chair pose, go low. Hang in there, you're almost done. Pull your belly in, weight through your heels. Go low, breathe, stand up. Whew. Release your arms by your sides, you can shake your legs out. If you have two blocks, place them in front of you or something elevated, have it in front of you because you might want it for this one. Put the weight to the right foot. Step your left foot back behind you slightly. This is a little bouncy, so if you want to be near a wall or something to hold on to, please do so. Keep a little bend in your right knee. Lift your left foot off the floor. Hinge your torso forward as you imagine you're sitting your butt back behind you. Put the pressure in your right heel. You can stay here with your left knee bent, or you can extend your left leg back, like a warrior three. You can do whatever you want with the arms. Bend your left knee in, bring your torso upright again. That's one, we're doing 5 of them. Bring your torso forward, heel, weight in the right heel. You can stay with the left knee bent or straighten it. Belly strong. Bend that left knee in, bring the torso upright. Bend at the hips. Sit the weight through the right heel. Stay there or extend the left leg straight. Lift the fronts of the shoulders away from the floor. Good strong core. Bend that left knee. Come back upright. Again, bend at the hips. Sit back in that right heel. Extend the left leg straight. Come back up. I forget how many we did. We're doing one more. Bend at the hips. Sit through the right heel. Extend the left leg straight or halfway straight. Bring your hands to the floor or to blocks. Preferably to blocks, something elevated so that your torso is now parallel to the floor. I know your right butt's burning. Hang in there. Pull your belly in. Put the weight into your right heel. Bring your right hand to your hip. You can stay there or reach your right arm up to the sky. Really push into that right heel. I know my right butt's killing me right now. It's so much work. It's getting so strong though. Hang in there, breathe. Right hand down, left foot down. Woo. Feel the sensations. You can even bend one knee, bend the other knee like you're shaking it out a little bit. Bring your hands to your hips, little bend in your knees. Inhale to rise all the way up. Okay, second side. I'll try to count this time. I think it was 5, but we'll see. Okay, start with your hands at your hips, left foot back behind you, or right foot back behind you. Weights in the left foot. Little bend in the left knee. Start to hinge your torso forward. Put the weight in the left heel. You can stay with right knee bent or extend right leg straight. So easy to claw with your toes. Try to stay in your left heel. Bend the left knee in. Come back upright. Again, hinge at your hip. Put the weight in the left heel. Extend the right leg back or stay halfway straight. Keep your hips square to the floor. Bend your right knee in. Come upright. Again, shift your hips back. Bring your torso forward, hinging down. Bend your right knee in. Come upright. 2 more. Hinge at your hip. Torso comes parallel to the floor. Keep your shoulders lifted, belly strong. Bend that right knee, come back up. I know your butt's burning, hang in there. Kick your right leg back as you hinge forward in your torso. Sit the weight in your right heel. Bring your hands to the blocks or some surface. Keep your right hand where it is. Bring your left hand to your hip. Again, put the pressure in your left heel. You're probably clawing with your toes. Go into the left heel. Twist open to the left. Reach your left arm straight up to the sky. Belly stays strong. Hang in there. Keep that right leg parallel to the floor. Pelvis doesn't change. Bring your left hand down. Bring your right leg down. You can take a few little walks in place if that feels good. Bring a bend in your knees, hands to your hips. Inhale to come up to stand. All right, take a wide stance. We're going to set up for triangle pose to half moon pose. So if you know you want blocks for that or a wall, please get yourself prepared. Turn your right toes to face the front of your mat. Left foot parallel to the back edge of your mat. Both legs are straight. Bring your right hand down to the outside of the right foot. Try to get your hand to touch right against that right leg, or right arm touches it. Tuck your right imaginary tail under. When you do that, you feel your right butt engage in your belly. Now open up. You can keep your hand at your hip or reach the left arm up to the sky. Keep tucking and wrapping your right butt under. Feel the sensation of stretch in your right inner thigh, maybe your left low back, left outer hip. Spread your toes, push into your feet evenly. Bring your left hand down to your hip, look down at the floor, shift your weight, take little hops to the right foot for half moon. Use a block or keep your hand at the floor. Again, put the pressure in the right heel. Don't claw the floor with your toes. Keep a little bend in that right knee and then tuck the right pelvis under. Open your torso up. You're welcome to reach the top arm up or look up to challenge your balance. If you feel cramping in the front of the hip or just stuck, please put a block underneath your right hand or something taller than a block, like a piece of furniture. If anybody wants to take the thigh stretch, you can bend your top knee, reach around, hold the foot with your left hand. Flare your toes and start to kick the foot back for Ardha Chandra Chapasana. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, just stay in your half moon. Whichever option you're doing, slowly release. Bend your right knee. Step back in slow motion, nice and controlled into your triangle. And then inhale, a little bend in the right knee to come all the way up to stand. All right, second side. If you have blocks and you want them, bring them with you. Both legs straight. Hinge over, bring your left hand to that right outside your left leg. Make the two touch. Make a connection, left arm, left leg. Tuck your left pelvis under and engage your belly as you turn open to the sky. You can keep your top hand at your hip or reach the top arm up to the sky. And again, feel the sensation of stretch, of muscle engagement, of your breathing, of the sounds around you. Becoming mindful of this moment. Bring your right hand to your hip. Bend your left knee. Shift your weight forward. Half moon pose. Ardha Chandrasana. Again, if you feel any cramping or tightness in your left hamstring, your left hip, if you bring that left hand up, it makes a huge difference. I have really long arms, so it works for me without a prop. But so a lot of you will probably need a prop. Tuck your left pelvis under, pull your belly in, reach up to the sky to challenge your balance, look up to challenge your balance. If that bothers your neck, look down at the floor. If you want to take the thigh stretch, bend the top knee. Remember, if you keep a little bit more bend in the left knee, you might have better success holding the foot. Don't bend too much, but a little bit of bend is good. Flare your right toes, squeeze your right butt. Those of you that have hold of the foot, squeeze your right butt to kick your foot back. Slowly release the foot. Bend your left knee, slow motion, step back into triangle. Bend the left knee, inhale to rise up. Walk your feet together. Come forward to the front of the mat. Feet hip distance apart. Inhale, reach up. Pull your belly in. Lengthen your spine as you reach up. Little bend in your knees, fold forward, touch the floor. Or touch blocks. Bring your hands to your shins, look forward, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold in. Please step back into downward facing dog. Okay, you have options here. Option 1 in your down dog, lift your right leg up to the sky and hold. Squeeze your right butt, lift up. Stay there for 3 to 5 breaths and then you'll take the other side. And you could take child's pose as a break, or you could just go back and forth between those two sides, belly strong, squeeze your butt of the leg that's lifted. Those of you that are comfortable with taking little baby hops as if you were going to do a handstand, walk in so that your shoulders go right over your wrists. Lift your left leg up to the sky and take little baby hops. Now you don't have a wall there. Some of you may have turned to a wall and do have a wall there. Whichever leg is on the floor, that's your spring leg. Your other leg is the leg that kicks up to the sky. Some of you might surprise yourself and find a little air time where you hold for a second. Make sure you do both legs so then the other leg becomes your spring leg. Very quiet. You really bend that knee and then shoot your other leg up to the sky. Remember, the rest of you are doing 3-legged dog and alternating between sides. Whichever leg is lifted to the sky, squeeze that butt. Whichever option you're doing. When you finish even on both sides, come down to hands and knees, child's pose. Recover. Restore. Feel the sensations in your heart, in your blood flow, in your mind, in your breathing. Feel the sensation of your body as it's against the floor. So many things we can pay attention to in this moment. Please walk yourself back up to hands and knees. And then you're going to come all the way up to stand. Just take your time so you don't get lightheaded. You're going to stand on your right foot and you're going to cross your left foot like a figure 4. Bend your right knee, sit back like you're sitting into a chair. You could hold on to something in front of you like a wall to balance. You can bring your hands further down the wall or to blocks to make it more challenging. Please flex your left foot. Gently push that left outer ankle down into your right thigh, as if you could push your left knee down to the floor more and feel that sensation in your outer left hip. You're welcome to stay there. You can take your right hand to the sole of your left foot. Push your hand into your foot and push your foot back into the hand, feeling that sensation of stretch in your outer left hip. Belly is strong. Breathing is steady. So only go far down as you can maintain a nice steady breath. Keep that left ankle really strong, left toes flexed. And you can slowly release that left foot from the right. Little bend in your knees to come up to stand. Second side, stand on your left foot. Cross your right ankle. Start with hands on a wall. Slowly walk your hands down, maybe to blocks. Please keep your right ankle totally locked and straight and your foot flexed. Gently press that left ankle down into, your right ankle down into your left thigh. And when you do that, you'll feel an activation of the muscles in your outer right hip. And it'll also intensify the stretch. You're welcome to take your left hand to the sole of the right foot. Push your foot into your hand and then push your hand back into your foot. Make that contact and you'll see it makes a difference. It might seem so little and minute, but it makes a difference in your sensation and your experience. Every little step counts. Every action, every word, every intention counts. Slowly release that side down. Little bend in your knees, hands to your hips. Inhale to rise up. All right, grab a strap or a dog leash or whatever you have. If you know that your balance is a little off, please be near a wall. And you can hold on to the wall, I'll show you. So if I'm standing, put your right hand on the wall, and you're gonna put your left foot in the strap. I'll stand this way, I think that makes more sense. So right hand's at the wall, right foot is down, left foot's in the strap. Okay, step 1, bend your left knee, sit up nice and tall. So no leaning backwards, please. Stand up tall. Only straighten your left leg as you can stand up tall. As soon as you start leaning back or forward and rounding your back, bend your left knee again. We want to stand up nice and tall. That's the more important thing. Spread your left toes, whichever option you're choosing. Now start to take your left leg out to the left. Please don't stick your left butt out. Instead, tuck or wrap your left butt underneath you. You can always bend your left knee slightly, that helps. Use your left bicep to pull those left toes up to the sky. Again, you're standing up nice and tall. Don't lean. Inhale, come back to center. Release that side. Second side, for this side I'm going to face straight ahead. So now you're standing on your left foot and your right foot goes in the strap. So you can give a little bend in that right knee, or you can move towards straighter in the right leg. Remember, you want to stand up nice and straight and tall. If you start to lean, then rebend the right knee. Spread the right toes. Give a little bend in your left knee, the standing leg, and squeeze your left butt muscle. Take your leg out to the right. Nothing changes in your torso. Stay straight up and down. The tendency is to stick your right butt out. Tuck your right pelvis under. You can always bend your right knee. That's going to feel better in the hip and the hamstring. Then you can move towards a straighter right leg. Tuck and wrap that right butt underneath you. Belly strong. Use your right arm to lift the right leg higher to the head if that feels okay. Inhale to slowly release back to center, and then release your strap. That same pose that we just did sideways, we're going to now do in side plank. So I'm going to show you options. The first option would be to pad and place your knees on something. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, we'll only do it once. So I'll give you time, but we'll just play with each side once. You're going to take your left hand down to the floor, and the strap goes around your right foot. So my left hand is down, the strap is around my right foot, just like it was a second ago. I was standing. And my left knee is down on the floor. Start with your knee, your right knee bent. Then you can move towards halfway straight in the leg. Some of you might go all the way straight in the right leg. Again, tuck and wrap your left glute under and your right glute under, both sides, to open your chest up. Some of you might feel comfortable with totally straightening your left leg. Some of you might not need the strap, maybe you can just hold your foot. Whichever option you're doing, push down into the bottom hand, squeeze your glutes and squeeze your core as you open up. Inhale to slowly release that side. And then we'll go to the other side. So right hand is down on the floor. Sometimes, again, I have long arms, so some of you might want to come up on a block. That might feel better underneath your right hand. Strap is around the left foot. So my right hand is down. I bend my left knee and I lift my left foot off the floor. Right knee's down on the floor. You can just stay here. Or you can lift the leg halfway straight. Or you can lift the leg all the way straight. Spread your toes, push into the strap. You want to choose the option that you feel like you're in control. That your steps are mattering. If you go too much into a place of instability, you're going to fall and you're going to hurt yourself. Choose where you feel like you can control. So some of you might be able to straighten the bottom leg. You want to be able to breathe deeply. No pain. Slowly release and bend the top knee. Step back in a child's pose. Collect your breath. Feel the sensations. Inhale to come back up. Come to lay all the way in your back. Bend your knees. Feet are flat on the floor. Reach your arms straight up to the sky. Palms face each other. Engage your core muscles by pulling your belly down towards the floor. Options. Lift your right foot up. Bring it back down. Lift your left foot up. Bring it back down. Alternating sides. That's option one. Your back stays flat. Your core stays strong. Option two, lift both feet up and hold. Your feet can come together, your knees slightly apart, about hip distance apart. Your back is flat on the floor. Your core is strong. You're breathing and holding. Option three, tap your left heel down, bring it back up, tap the right heel down. The more straight you go in that leg as you reach it forward, the more challenging it is. So if you keep the knee bent, it's a little bit more accessible. The last thing you could add is the arms. Whichever leg reaches forward, the opposite arm reaches back. Slow and controlled. If you're extending the leg all the way straight, please squeeze your butt muscle as you kick that leg straight. If you have any pain in your hip, please go to the first step. If you have any pain in your back, go to the first step. If it's still painful, then just breathe. Hang in there, almost done. Do one more on each side. Place both feet flat on the floor. Arms released by your sides. Bend your elbows, palms face each other. Press down through your feet, lift your hips up by squeezing your butt muscles first. Then you can push into your elbows, coming into bridge pose. Now we haven't done much back bending, so maybe it feels great just staying right here, pushing your elbows down. Or you can reach your arms straight and hold the sides of the mat and try to pull the mat apart as you shimmy your shoulders underneath of you. Some of you might choose to interlace fingers, although we really haven't stretched the upper chest. So that might not feel great right now. Choose the option that feels good. Make your steps count. Squeeze your glutes as you lift up. Feel as if you could open your heart towards your chin, but lengthen your knees in the opposite direction of your chin. So you get long in your spine, even as you lift up. Inhale to slowly come back down. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, and just breathe. Recover, restore. Take your arms out to a T. Take your feet as wide as your sticky mat. Drop your knees to the right for windshield wipers. Flex both feet. If it's okay in your neck, you can look over your left shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Keep your feet wide, drop your knees to the right. If it feels okay in your neck, you can look over your right shoulder. Again, flex both feet. Inhale, come back to center. If you have a blanket or something you can put in between your knees, knees are bent, and just put a blanket in between your knees. Shift your butt a little bit to the right side of your mat, and then drop your knees to the left side. Taking one last twist. Look over the right shoulder if that feels okay in your neck. And I'm using my left hand to gently draw my knees across if that feels okay. If that feels like too much, then don't pull with that hand. Inhale back to center. Shimmy your butt over to the left side. Drop your knees to the right side. Look over your left shoulder. If it feels okay, you can use your right hand to gently draw your legs across to the right and spin your chest to the left more. Inhale to come back to center. You can hug both knees in towards your chest, taking the knees wider apart, rocking side to side if that feels good on your low back. Kind of like you're doing child's pose, but on your back. And then you can release your legs and relax for Shavasana. So however feels good for you. If you want to sit for meditation, you're welcome to sit rather than lie back. It's your choice. So all the steps you just did matter for this moment. There's something about being mindful and being present that changes us. And so we start to feel it and experience it in meditation and in Shavasana. I will offer a chant, which is the repetition of the names of the gods and goddesses in the stories of Indian mythology. You can just listen. One of the names is Ram. Ram is another incarnation or avatar of Vishnu. So again, this honoring, preserving, restoring truth, peace, and love. And when we repeat the sounds or listen to the repetition of sounds, it's just another way to bring our intentions into fruition. Another way to be mindful. Allow your breath to deepen. And slowly begin to move and stretch in any ways that feel best for you. When you're ready, bend your knees, roll to your right side. Rest there for a few moments. Thank your body for its support. Thank yourself for showing up to practice, physically, emotionally, spiritually. We're so grateful for all these stories and the teachings that are offered so that we might understand our own humanity and to understand the situations around us, and so that we can make every step matter. Use your hands to press yourself back to a seated position. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. With my whole heart, I thank you for coming to practice and to be here with me, to be here with each other. I thank you for doing a practice outside of this session so that we can uplift the world and to restore peace and love and truth. The light that is me bows to and acknowledges the light that is you. Namaste.